And we're streaming now. Stop. Okay, we're good. So we're streaming now. Presentations 2019 mobile programming. First group. What's your name? No, not your name. The group's name.
Trygghet for Alle is the project's name.
Yep.
We have made this app called Trygghet for Alle, and it's essentially designed so that if you are walking outside and you want to, people are often feel unsafe or such when they are outside. So this is essentially just an app that lets you hit the panic button, and then everyone around you and people in certain groups that you can log into or add are notified that you hit the button. And then you can see yourself on the map currently, that's the red one. And then when someone hits a button, hit the red button.
Well, I mean,
How you log in?
probably
Log in
go
first.
through the app first.
Just speak openly to the class. That's everyone there. So still to the class.
Yeah, okay. He's going to log in because we added the function to log in first, so there are no password, it's just your name. So very much prototype. And we need to log in because we haven't actually added the statement to double check that you have logged in before it starts to do things. So they'll actually crash if you haven't. And I click the button, and as you can see, I am there.
Indeed.
Yes, of course. Also, a click button. Hopefully it doesn't crash.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't crash.
You're confident.
That's great.
Oh, there you go.
And I got a text message from myself telling me I'm in danger because I'm the only contact I have.
And on my phone, I can also see him, the blue dot, which now, because we clicked it again, and when I click it, he will be able to see me. In addition, you can see a counter up in the left corner that says that how many people are close by. My phone is crashed at 0 at the moment, and that one is a bit buggy.
I didn't get it.
That's makes it for me, now and then at least. For me, it says 1, which is the correct number. But for him, it's 0, so it's a buggy at the moment.
Can you repeat the feature on the top left, the number? What was that? I didn't
That's
get
the number of people within range that will be notified when you hit the button.
Okay.
It's buggy at the moment, but because for me, it is correct. It says 1, there are 1 active nearby that isn't itself.
Yeah.
For him, it's 0 for something. If you restart it, it might actually update. Of course not. My phone have it correct.
Okay. Just turn.
Sorry.
There could be a trick. Just stand behind the counter on that side. You're automatically facing everyone.
Yeah.
By definition. So there you go. That's safe.
That's better. And we should showcase other things. Like group functionality and such.
So, at the moment you can create a group simply by just writing a name, and when you do that, an ID is made. Or it crashes. We are really good at testing.
Yeah.
That's good. You're doing it now. That's pretty good. At least you're doing it at some stage.
It was more stable, but then we added things like yesterday.
Yeah.
Cool. Lesson learned.
Yeah, that's stuff in the middle of the night, and he hasn't tested stuff yet outside the emulator, so it's probably broke stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lesson learned. So anyone doing a bachelor, don't do that, right?
Absolutely. Not for a bachelor. That's That's a different.
Recommend not using us as a bachelor.
Well, that's how you learn, right? So
Let's try again. There we go, it actually worked. As you can see, you get the random generated number, which is your ID. You can't actually copy it at the moment.
I'll add it. So 8, 7, 2, 8. No, I'm not. Okay. I forgot that I have not actually logged in, so I crashed because you have to log in.
And now I just joined the group by remembering the code. Now if we actually managed to join the group,
What was the number?
some usability issues there.
yeah.
I did the number.
Anyone? Collective intelligence who recalls the number?
You can rewind the stream.
Right. Let's all watch the stream. There's
Either it
some.
was wrong or it crashes.
There's one of your colleagues in there. There is.
Oh, right. Yeah, it might not be only logged in the user.
Just one, that's good.
No,
So,
it shouldn't behave on whether it's logged in or not, actually.
Good code.
Yeah.
Should only count people nearby. Up to 200. Hopefully it doesn't come to good. Trash.
bear in mind that our Wi-Fi here is not the best, right? So that could be an issue. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah, I think I've joined, so...
It should come up feedback you have.
So cool. I like the honesty.
Just to make sure that I'm actually doing it. Okay. I can actually see them. Very good. And it crashed. So, okay.
But it crashed last time.
Good question.
What's in?
1 to 5. I fix it, yeah.
I assure you I will log in.
Well, it's unspecified. The score is just.
I'm definitely logged in.
No, but I mean for the report. Okay, 0 nothing. 5 1. 5 corresponds to 1. So 1 is point 2.
Yes, I did. I did each and every time. That's what I said.
Okay.
Go in. Make a random name.
So keep the people informed what you do and why and all that kind of stuff.
I try to join this group
Right.
by logging in 3 times in a row. And it crashed each time when I tried.
Right.
Which isn't ideal. It shouldn't crash. It's
I have an idea for a new feature for security purposes. If you log in 3 times, you don't make it, they'll wipe your phone.
Yeah.
That would be.
yes, of course, that would be a genius idea. Again, maybe it works the 3rd time. I doubt it. It worked! I don't know what's different. But it worked.
So we see that somewhere. Is there any evidence that he joined?
No, we can check the database.
I see.
I mean, I think I actually have that here. No, I
Well, we could get some proof if you...
go to Firebase.
No, if you... This is what should happen.
Okay.
If you now press the alarm button, I should get push notification. Should
We will not
not
have as much
necessarily
time per
work,
group, right?
just
15 minutes?
implement
Probably.
this, this morning.
When they test time?
Okay, go and do that.
No, I can't be in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So to
Why?
30
Because the
percent.
Firebase push notification works.
Okay.
I can turn it over.
So, a few things. Can you talk a bit about the infrastructure? I mean, the demo was interesting and so on, but you probably, there's an emergency. And you probably learned that you kind of need a bit of usability testing, right? Especially with respect to your product owner, Carsten, right? For some, you want to get that right and somewhat polished. And also think about, usability a bit. What does that number mean? Someone needs to tell me that this is not, I don't know, this is the nuclear launch codes, or is it your group number, or PIN? I don't know. So it needs to be a bit more transparent there. But talk a bit about the infrastructure. Give us an impression how you made this happen. How does the communication work?
Yeah, we have used Firebase for the database.
Yeah.
We store in 2 separate fields for the coordinates. You have an ID collected based on your phone, which is unique to each phone. And it uses that to store your coordinates and also the time it was stored, because we do not have the ability to delete things, so you don't delete what's older, so instead check if it's within the correct time. And then you have one for emergency, which is the same thing. It's the coordinates X and Y in addition to the last time pattern. However, the emergency stores a new one each time you use the button and it counts down correctly. While the one for get your coordinates, that one's per phone basically. It does store which phone actually made the emergency message for the emergency. But it makes a new one each time you do it, so that you could essentially check the database of, oh, in this coordinate, this phone had an error message, basically, at this time it stopped. So, in addition, I think we store users there.
Yeah, we store users, which is basically just, okay, we store the name, done.
Yeah, if you use the same name, by the way, that's what crashed it, basically. I can't log in with a name that already existed with the user.
Yeah.
Which caused
That should overwrite the past field.
Yeah, no, it didn't crash.
So there's two things. I mean, there could be a built-in feature there. I think from a forensic point of view, it's quite valuable that you actually just work on the latest timestamp, and you can retrace what happened, right?
Yeah.
So last time being seen was that position basically, because if you use Firebase by nature, it relies on a working mobile connection, right? So which is a bit of a attack point, right? So if you lose, if I understand internet connectivity, that's it, right? You can no longer use the app. Is that correct? No local, no caching so far, or no ability to fall back to other communication means? For example, you could switch to, let's say, you keep the cache version of your environment and use Bluetooth perhaps as a means.
The problem with that, if you use a cached version, then there's no guarantee that those people are at the exact same coordinates at that time.
That's correct.
After 30 seconds, then the counter, for example, would count the whole world, but according to the app, 30 seconds ago. That's not ideal. And the emergency would also, wouldn't actually update it, so it wouldn't be able to.
But here it comes. So you're in the situation, right? So you're at night, dark, and you have a threat situation. You're surrounded by 5 people. Now you don't have mobile connection anymore. There's a difference between not an ideal situation, meaning you have outdated data of your surrounding environment and can get help, or no information about your environment and not can get help. So I think that's the problem with physical computing, that you need to deal with the real world to some extent and approximate what's sensible or not, right? So I rather want to have a somewhat working app than suddenly non-working app, because
the notifications are sent though, because there are some messages over the phone.
okay.
So for groups, those would actually work.
Like you
Cool.
saw, I got an SMS.
Ah, there you go. So that's nice.
Like,
So you have a
like
fallback.
contacts here you can add, and they will get an SMS
Nice.
when you hit the button, so they know you're in the group. The reason for this is, not everybody is comfortable with downloading an app, and we don't want to
Exactly.
let family members and others not know them.
Perfect, because that's what another is a point, right? So everyone needs to have the app, have it running and all that stuff, has a sufficient phone, and SMS is like a global feature. You can have a Nokia feature phone, you'll be in principle contactable, right? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's clever. Think about this or independence, right? Platform independence in the right sense. That's good. Plus, there are also iPhone people on the planet. Yes, they're rare, but they exist. So, yeah.
We also store the groups on the database, which is basically just, okay, we store the users, and then we have a folder whether or not we have admin rights in the group. Currently, there's no admin features, but it's there.
Good. All right, so you're differentiating between users, but you don't differentiate the users, right? So, I mean, yeah, you can model it, but you can't use it yet. So
Yeah.
that's good. Cool. Sounds good. Question from you guys, because we wanted to limit our discussion to roughly 15 minutes, including presentation for the next group.
That was me. That was me. I have myself as a contact there.
What? No, it was me in darkness.
Okay, so you hit the button, but what is the difference between you hitting the button and notifying the person nearby you and sending an SMS?
So I think he misunderstood that. The thing he said was a push notification from Firebase, which is like the overall group you're in. This is meant for maybe hotels or something that want to have a quick message to all its users or something. While this SMS feature is for near contacts that you want to send a message if you're in an emergency situation. The SMS was sent from me to myself because this is me.
Why that? So I sent was a push notification.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's
I mean,
I'm not quite sure. Are both those things invoked by pressing the red button?
yes.
Everything is red dots.
How exactly do you determine what the button does then?
The red button, like if you're in danger or need help, you press the red button.
Yeah, but like, oh, it doesn't
Based on the
both
groups.
things at the same time.
They just both on the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, if the group member is nearby you, you'll think you will SMS them and ping them?
Yes.
probably.
That is
Okay.
true.
All right.
I mean, the point is we're dealing with emergency cases, so I
Yeah.
suspect redundancy is not the worst of choices.
No.
So that's
I just want to be sure.
Yeah.
that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Very question. You could also consider filtering against your own phone number because you don't want to incur charges and notification. On the other hand,
Yeah.
it's a good debug feature, so certainly worthwhile now. So, yeah. Other points that people want to make or questions they have? Who would install the app right now? I sense some hesitance.
It needs some work.
It needs a bit of work, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're on the right track. I mean, so my question for you is now, how much of the complexity have you kind of outsourced into Firebase? Because seeing your app and seeing it interact, I feel like it's kind of really modeled around the features that you get from Firebase to some extent. Or am I
Well, as
wrong?
mentioned, database, it would actually be more like some of the logic done on the phone itself that would, if you had an SQL database, you would just say, hey, I want this, I want it to be between these two values, I want this between these two values, I want this value to be large in this value. And then I don't have to do much logic on the phone. Instead, I have to get everything that is after a certain value and then sort through that on the phone. Because Firebase doesn't support sorting on more than one value unless it's a bool. And that bool must be the value stored, not an if statement. So it's not ideal for computing purposes, but it works.
But the broadcasting feature, for example, notification feature is very powerful, right? So it comes out of the box. You know it's pretty much done for you in a way, right? This is another argument for a cached version to some extent, right? Because you would minimize the data transmission as well, which is a costly factor, right? Especially if you have a larger number of groups or a larger number of around you simply, right? I think Oslo, 17th of May in Oslo, that's probably not something that's easily handleable.
Yeah, and currently we are not. We are getting it each time. It would be more nice if we just updated a local version of the database.
Nice.
That is something that
some data calculation. Cool. But anyway, it's a prototype, so it's perfectly fine.
How far exactly can app reach?
It's currently it checks 200 meters around you for the nearby, and that's a single value to change within the codes.
It would be nice to have a setting for that one, right? Because it may be individually, it should be sensible fault data, but I think different individuals have different expectations. But also if you're in a more rural area, probably need to have wider range.
We were thinking about having it scale up if it didn't find anyone near you. So
Oh, nice,
like,
clever, adaptive, cool, very nice.
We
We haven't implemented it, but we did think about that would also be something we develop and
But you need to have this kind of a hard threshold, right? So if you have somewhere in Finnmark or something, like it will scale up to 200, 2,000 kilometers, and suddenly, yeah, we have found one person. So may not need of practical use, but yeah, so it's a lot of optimization there. But I think, does anyone else have a question, or does everyone understand what's going on? Somewhat? Yeah, cool. I think we do as well. Do we, Mariusz?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
Fine.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation, guys. Thank you. The next group came set up, but while doing that, I just want to highlight that it's quite a challenge to do live demos, right? Things can go wrong. So bear that in mind. So it's always something to be treated with moderation. In this slide, bear in mind it may be worthwhile to sometimes have video demos as well, so you can really keep the flow going and describe what's actually happening while you either fix things or just to give the audience an impression, because it's not so necessarily to have really a live demo as opposed to just getting an appreciation of functionality in the first place, right? So that how things work, what's expected, and so on, right? And sometimes the creation of the video will also help you understand what UI flaws you basically have, because you no longer have the devices, you just need to work based on pictures, and that gives you a different appreciation of your own app. But anyway, that's something to bear in mind. So let's try to limit this to roughly 10 to 12 minutes of presentation, then 3 or 5 to yeah, 3 to 5 minutes of QA where people can ask questions. 10 to 10. Sensible. Fine.
Start early.
What is early? It's supposed to 10 or? You might go wrong and send an email out. It's a problem.
What's up?
You're to blame.
Did I get 9:30?
Oh wow.
No, I think I said 9.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Right.
Alright, this one.
Right, so we are Group 5, also known as AirTrain, and over the past week or so we have developed this app, an air training app. It's called AirTrain.
And that's just a message that displays the first button start.
This is supposed to tell you how to actually use the app, but we never bothered changing the placeholder text.
Or the many exercises. And we were also thinking that down the line we could add networking. But we didn't get there. So we have a button, and we also have statistics, exercises for picking out how recognizing different controls, picking out and recognizing different intervals, music, and to be able to replicate the notes given. And we also have patient theory where you can read that on the text that you want to learn more about.
So here is the theory page, which just goes very briefly to the theory, just kind of what you immediately need kind of to understand what's going on in this app. And so basically tells you what's an interval, what's a chord. That's really kind of what you need to know. And
This is
yeah, I can't hear anything, so just hold.
We have probably the down sound system here doesn't properly work, right?
yeah, no, it's probably the emulator, but it works on the phone.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, if I
Just do it locally. Perhaps we hear something. Like on your phone, like press buttons and then.
let's see. I press there and
Did you hear something?
it
I
will
did.
Okay, that's good.
it will basically play you a unison.
Yeah.
There is no difference between an ascending unison and harmonic unison, so it's a little bit redundant. But
Yeah.
say you have a perfect fourth, it's going to play that. Ding, ding, ascending, ding, ding, and harmonic. Ding. So yeah, it basically just tells you what intervals are. Chords, same thing.
In which key are chords played? How do you configure that?
So right here, everything's played in with C as the root,
Okay.
or yeah, 60 if you go by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically it. And we have this interval training page where you have different exercises. Basically, you start out basic and then work your way up. Being able to recognize all. So, yeah, the UI is a bit shoddy. Basically, these buttons that look like the grayed out are actually the ones that you're using, because I couldn't find a good way to make them change the color without. Yeah, since I can't hear anything, I'm just guessing right now.
So to get it right, so where's the training element there? Are you humming this interval back and then you get a
So
score?
what's happening here is you are played.
Yeah.
You are played an interval.
There was something.
It's either a unison, a minor second, or a major second.
Okay.
And your job is just to recognize which one is it.
Yes.
This was unison.
Ah. Okay.
So that's a major. That was a minor second. That was a minor second. Anyway, and you can see we've got 3 great out of 9, and we get the score.
Right.
How many characters is time? And if we press quit, we get back here, which is the standard actually.
Ah, yes.
But we should actually write
Yeah, so that's the.
Jerry data in the database for showing up the graphs in the score is rather low, with values of 50 and 60. So we're assuming that it's me who's done all that training is shit at recognizing musical intervals. And then they come in and get 1,660 points, and the graphs all just.
That kind of, yeah.
Well, yeah, the one, yeah.
So basically here you can see how many points you gained each day last 7 days.
The current iteration just shows all the points you've ever gotten that's in the database, and also some dummy data to be able to demo it right now, which we add at the beginning of the application. So that we will change that to have it sort of on date and just show 5 bars and 4 bars.
Yeah, the data is like using like Groom, it's like an Android library for interacting with SQL. And Room is also can also be used with SDK 14, and we try to like we try to keep everything like at SDK 16.
Nice.
Because then we can target like 95% of all Android apps.
Pretty much everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else shouldn't be targeted.
I don't know the singing, but
Why not?
Alright,
There you
so,
go. Okay, let's do something.
So I can't hear the root notes, so I have no idea what I'm supposed to sing at.
yeah.
If I go,
I don't have a
no,
microphone. You have to
you
use
don't
your-
have a microphone.
No,
You
you
just,
have to do it on your phone.
wow.
Live demos, everyone.
Alright, demos, yes, exactly. Especially if you have media I/O and something.
Right, so if I go, it will, it will kind of hear that, and when I've held it for like 2.5 seconds, it'll go to the next one. So, and here I'm supposed to sing in unison, so I just go. And as you can see, I got 1 out of 10. That's supposed to say out of 2 now. So that's not in silent, right? And anyway, you go through that and you get the same screen as you got in physical training, and once you got it
So basically, just to get it right, you're just repeating, or you're guessing, or you're repeating whatever you do, whatever the app tells you.
So you get a root note,
Yeah,
which is played out to you.
and then you play
And
the
then it
fifth
tells you
switch or
yeah,
the seventh.
-7, so you're supposed
Alright,
to.
okay, cool.
You're -7 above that.
Yep, yeah.
Or below that. So
How's the scoring done?
the scoring is done based on how correct you are
Yeah.
and how fast you are.
Yeah, is that so? But it's a continuous metric, right? It's not like a Boolean. You're right or you're wrong, but rather, what's the, how do you measure that?
So I think the
Difference
formula
in
right now is
frequency.
basically 100 points just being correct, and then it's plus something how fast you are below 10 seconds or something.
So, but what if you're slightly off? You're pitching nearly there, right?
Right.
So can you accommodate for frequency deviation or differences?
So right at the moment, you just check if basically for your round, your pitch, if
Yeah.
it goes to the correct notes. So
Right, understand.
and we
Yeah.
don't do anything with it.
Okay. So right. So if you're hitting supposedly you're supposed to hit a C and you're hitting a B and so on, then you want one off by 1 note. You don't get any points for hitting.
No.
Right.
If
But
you're like 50 cents
Yeah.
within.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Okay. Right. So you're discretizing basically.
So how are you calculating the frequency? What do you use for that?
I use a library called Tarsos DSP, and it basically just gets the pitch for me, and then I do some calculation to kind of get the equivalent MIDI notes.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, we got the same thing
Did you
there.
try it on it with instruments? So if you actually play, let's say, piano or guitar, and so on, because does it detect the
Yeah, it
key
should get
correctly?
perfect score, right?
Yeah, it should. Yeah. So you can't tell by it's a human voice. Like it's just.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could cheat, but then what's the point? Right. You're only cheating yourself.
No, it's not for cheating. It's just for testing that it actually works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because unlike human voice, and if you play an instrument and so on, you have a lot of more noise, right? If you play a chord, right? So the question is, how clean does the app detect actually the root note, right? That's the thing, right? If they see major, right, you not only have C, but you also have, what is it,
Yeah.
E and so on,
Yeah.
and G and so on. So does it actually figure out the root node properly? That's more like the debugging.
Like if I play a chord from like guitar, it's gonna, I think that's gonna be whichever one's the loudest, whichever note's the loudest, probably is the one to pick up.
Right.
Yeah. Because it doesn't detect I'm playing several pitches.
Right. Okay. Well,
Anyway,
good to know.
This also plays the sound.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this
do it.
basically just plays a chord. You're supposed to figure out which chord it is.
We believe you. Don't worry.
So it's really the same thing. It's no big deal. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
I got the score. Right. But opinion is actually supposed to go to chord again. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be activated.
No.
Right. I don't think just I don't think that works.
So it's not very important.
Yeah.
What about the competitive button?
Oh, it's.
Tell me.
We wanted to make like a competitive mode. We even made like
Nice.
a player class, etc. And we just kind of ran out
Yeah.
of time.
Fair enough. But that would be
It was
also
like a party mode for Beat Saber.
Yeah.
yeah, it would be quite fun actually. Plus also then you would have issues with local connectivity, for example, right? If you can you play it on the train without Wi-Fi and stuff? So it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about having like two competitive modes. Like one, you just
On the
like,
single phone?
Yeah, one.
Ah,
Yeah,
right.
you just have
Yeah.
the phone and
That
just
would
like
nice.
pass it around.
Yeah.
True.
And another idea was like to just use networking.
Yeah.
So.
A good idea in general. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool. Well, nice exercise actually. I mean, you're close to it, so use it as a pitch tool as well, right? So if you want to tune something or something. I mean, there are good tools out there, so we don't need to. But would you use it for yourself or plan to?
Would I use this after?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually named this after myself.
Right.
Because the apps that are out there either have stuff behind paywall
Yeah.
or, something like that. So I just thought I'll just make something myself.
Next question: would you use the app for yourself? But what I mean is, in this state, would you actually use the app?
Right, at this stage.
Yeah.
They still got a lot of work to do. to
Right.
really
What is
be-
that? What is the work to do?
Well, for instance, it's the list of exercises there is not complete, like any sexual imagination. This set should also have, right now we've only got major minor conditions on the chords. Those are only 4 chords out of like a shit ton of chords. Right, so that's just not enough.
Yeah.
For this, I'm not that good at estimating intervals.
Yeah.
So I would need to do this gradually. Right now, we just use anything from unison to an octave,
Yeah.
and so there should be some sort of progression there.
Okay. Do you plan to use scales as well?
Right. Yes. Like scale recognition stuff would probably be something I want to implement.
Because also scale training is a tough one, right? So if you want to sing scales and so on. So,
Yeah.
Because intervals is like it's like very fragmented extracts of larger scales, right? You want to have the complete C harmony and so on.
I would also like to implement functional training, which is essentially you just kind of play a cadence, you get to root notes kind of found in your head, and then you play a note, and then you're supposed to recognize based on which key you are in right now.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's a good feature. So
I already have a really good app for that, so I don't really think it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Cool. A good idea anyway. Very creative thought.
Perfect.
Yep. Cool. Question. Sorry, I was a bit too nervous.
No, not
So
really.
here, adding achievements to
I hope that a bit.
the database, since we haven't had the end of the source code actually.
That number down fine.
Yeah, there are 6 achievements in the database. They have, currently they're just zoning placeholder text. And some of them are rather unachievable at this point in time, basically they're because they are things such as buy the app. You cannot buy this app in any way, shape or form. Play in full screen mode. We haven't implemented full screen mode, so you cannot get it.
We got like the database actually is pretty well made. it's kind of added all of the things to the database and stuff, that we kind of ran out of time to kind of check that something was done and make a toast and say, oh, you achieved this now. And we kind of like got a pretty good storage system, but yeah, ran out of time to finish everything else.
It's a project. It's a big one.
But you didn't use the game services achievements. It's your own internal achievement system.
No.
You didn't use the Google Play services, right? You used everything locally, right?
Only not.
Because you don't have any too much social stuff there right now anyway, so it wouldn't make sense.
So if I download it into my phone, I will have a completely different state when I get my scores, and we have no networked functionality at all, so we don't have a large online database that looks at whatever you get to score what.
Yeah.
It doesn't even know that means me, because it's just an app on my phone.
Understood.
So it assumes that it's me.
Yeah, I mean that would be a whole different kind of beast you're dealing with when you suddenly do networking on top of what you did already, right? So signal processing, all that kind of jazz. You had a lot on your neck already anyway, so that's probably a good second project, I would say. Any other thoughts, questions, worries, interest in subscribing to their newsletter so you get updates on the app?
Oh yeah,
So what's supposed to happen is every day you're supposed to sum up all the scores you've gotten for all the different exercises. We don't really distinguish between you've gotten so many in interval singing or whatever. That would be any feature, but it's not a priority.
The database supports it.
Yeah,
But we got the database running way too late on the project. So we are currently just saving whatever score you got and dragging all of it in and making the crap out of all of your scores. Whereas, give us a day and we should probably be able to aggregate our different kinds of scores and have multiple graphs. Because we have the code, just got it working yesterday and said, okay, now it works. And the features are okay, so we're not going to touch it until after we present. At least.
Yeah, Björn said like we're storing those points as interval scores, so we can like store the database like different types of, you know, got this from doing intervals, got this from doing chords.
If you open the model sync score, this is the information that we store in the score. We have an idea that for the database, it stores which type it is, it stores the score you have, and it stores when you got it. So that we can sort it on when you got it, or large score sorted by type. Just we didn't get to that point before we went into production.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Good overview. Thank you very much. Next group, number 8, is it? Do we do breaks or don't we do breaks?
No, we don't have time for breaks.
3 hours, people will kill you. See, first one is killing you.
I just heard no breaks.
Yeah, you guys are really keen on breaks, do you?
Yeah, let's do 2 more and then have a short break.
Okay, we have a break. You're getting weak at age. Yeah, let's get breaks. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Proper presentation. There we go.
Presentation.
Okay, blow us away. Floor's yours.
First away, first like that. This point in time, who here lives with another person? Or has lived with another person at some point in time? Also. Okay, more than 2 or 3. Perfect. Hopefully, this will be able to help you.
I'm not sure.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it will help the other person, not me, but anyway.
So we, in the initial idea came in the experience design course in the first semester, where we wanted to make an application for people living together. Initially it was meant for students that might not always agree on
who's going to buy toilet paper and stuff like that. So that's where the idea came. So we wanted to give easy access to like events and responsibilities in the household. Yeah, we're gonna come back to that. So our goal is to make an app that is very easy to use, and the application has many important features like you can chat with people and you can put like the common areas for a specific event or something, like a party or anything, and avoid clutter. So obviously we want to sell this idea, so we create this business model. So the problem we want to solve is, like I said, that people disagree on certain responsibilities and stuff like that. And the solution is with that, of course. The target customer is, like I said initially, the students, but it will be used by anyone. Sales channels would be like, like SIT, the student organization, or so they could like we would try to sell it to them. The revenue model, we want the app to be free, so we would get the revenue from ads in the app. The app is very scalable, meaning that it is very easy to add features later as well. Yeah. So how to use that? Here's a screenshot from the starting point of the app. So there's a login screen. After you log in, you can create a room with a unique room ID. And the room ID follows you. So the first user to create the room is like the one that decides the room ID, and after that, when other users join, they can insert that room ID and they will kind of be in that same room. Yeah. So the layout is pretty similar to like a regular Android layout. We have a settings activity where you can select language. So far we have English and Norwegian. And in the future we would like to so that you can change your display name and like notifications. So components, there is a chat window where you can chat with certain people in your room. If you're trying to arrange something or just want to ask them a question or anything. There's an activity where you can create tasks for the household. So clean the living room, go buy something or anything. You can create events, like I said earlier, like parties and stuff. You're planning that, and so that other people can know what's happening. There's a shopping list where you can add the items for that the household needs, like toilet paper, dishwashing soap, etc. We'll use Firebase quite a lot for the database and stuff like that. And there's also a web view where you can where you are redirected to the e-book site, where you can see what rights you have as a tenant.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's the layout. So here's the login screen. Here we enter the room ID, and we'll already created that one. So here we are met with the main activity, which contains all the tasks for the household. we can advertise, for example. Yeah. And where. So that's there. I get that done, and then it says run it, and then here's some other stuff. Landlord info. Here you can enter the contact information for the landlord. Right as a tenant, after that menu where you are redirected to the e-learning site. House rules, you can have rules for the household, like be quiet after 10, stuff like that. And the chat and shopping. Yeah, so that's where it will be like.
The board button, of course.
Yeah, the board button. Because yeah, we have this board button. So if you're bored and you want to tell other people in your household that you're bored, because of course you can't go ask them. Just press this and it sends a push notification to all the other people in the household. So they can come and plug you and hang out and
That was possibly the most used feature.
Yeah.
We like.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the database. Because I'm not going to go deep into that, but
Messages are saved on from the username and the timestamp, etc. Users,
yeah, everything is basically saved with an unique ID, and the rules are probably the most compact table. So we have the room ID, every task that is created, all the events, all the rules, the owner, the shopping list.
so then finally, would you actually use this? And by a show of hands, would you actually use this? And then, if not, why? And what could we do to make you actually use this? If we would like to hear that. Yeah.
Would you use it
Would you use it?
for yourself?
Spam the board then?
I don't know.
I'm bored, exactly.
By myself, I don't know. I mean, my speed.
I use different kind of communication channels that I've already used for many, many years to solve all of those issues. And I have absolutely no problems whatsoever using Facebook Messenger to talk to my co-tenants.
Okay.
Yep.
And this is a good app and how to use it. And also this is like I use my business using one so you can see it on Bible.
So here's the thing, right? So I would use it, but I have a few questions. Number one, the chat, right? Is it a one-to-one chat or one-to-many chat or both?
As of now, it's just a one-to-one.
Right.
But it would be an idea to have like a
Yeah.
one-to-many.
So that's exactly one-to-many would be a good part. In terms of one of the things, my largest flat lived in was roughly 10 people. So what happens then is there's a lot of issues with accountability, right? So you just click, okay, you did your task. Is there any way of following up? Well, not even scoring for people, to measure distribution of equity, meaning how much did you do, how much did the other person do, fairness in actually performing tasks and being able to document this somehow.
So that was coding 2.0, I think, in the future.
Yeah, because that would be the value, right? They actually say, hey, this month I did all that, right? Cleaning, buying toilet paper, and all the examples you can possibly up here. I cooked for everyone and so on. So that's definitely something that would be towards more accountability. Second one, recurrence. So a lot of events are recurrent, right? So that is cleaning up. I mean, one of the recent examples I heard of is like SIT is frequently checking every spring, I believe, all the flats, right? So students need to clean it up and be on site, and if they don't, they get fined and all that kind of jazz. So it would be nice to build those events, for example, into the schedule and automatically have it recurring, right? Or let's say if you have a flat of 5 boys, to remind them that they need to clean the toilet from time to time. So the app takes care of them. That said, well, once a week, probably it's sensible to actually clean the toilet, right? So sometimes someone doesn't want to take action, so you can make the app take action, and even better, assign it to individuals based on fairness, right? So you have a fairness analysis, you did it 3 times, now it's your turn, right? Kind of thing, right? There's also a justification thing of it. Last point, house rules. Rules are good. Problem is, no one follows them if they don't agree to them. So you want to have a mechanism by which you can say, here's the house rules, agree to them or comment on those, right? Because that's the principle. It's easy to just say, here are the house rules, but you have no guarantee that people actually read it, and you don't have, people don't agree to rules that are firstly long and just subjective to them. They need to have an opportunity to have a say. So if a comment, yes, I accept this rule with this exception or with this amendment or something. Think about this, democratize the process a bit. Of course, it's a prototype, right? I understand that. But those are practical ideas where I see it'd be easy to actually promote pickup. I would see that I want the app not to just consume my input, I want the app to give back. That is, eventually it should automate a hell lot of things that I would need to do manual, right? If I enter an event every time and I know it's happening every week, I will stop after 2 weeks, right? But if the app actually picks up on that and says, okay, keeps track of that, right? So, and reminds everyone, that would be really cool. So, so that's a bit of the input that I have, if you want. Any other thoughts?
For the rooms or house or whatever you call it, are you planning to have like have those password protected? Because currently, I guess anyone can join any room.
If you have the correct ID, you can, yeah. You can join any.
So is there any plan of having like password protection on those? So don't have someone from the Americas joining your room here in Norway?
Yeah, the original idea was to have the original creator of the room actually have an administrator role in the settings page, and then you can actually go and kick the members out that are not supposed to be there.
But bear in mind that Flat's composition changed, so someone needs to take over the room, right? You also need to have a delegation facility where you say, okay, you're the new admin because I'm new, so that's tough. But I think everything is kind of there, but you have, that's a nice set of features that you can improve that would really promote uptake, I believe, in Flats, because that's definitely a need I have encountered like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, sensible. Who came up with this? You guys?
Yeah, we did.
And experience design, right? You mentioned it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any other comments? Well, thank you much. The next group, number 2. And then we're number 1, and then a break, or what's the plan?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. So 2 more groups now, or 1 more group?
2 more groups.
So here's the insistent nature. So 2 more groups, then we have a break. So be patient. And if they go over time, blame the groups, not us. Should come up. There you go.
And we are group 2, what's it? Yeah. The driving assistance.
So the original idea here was that when I'm driving, I'm always using a GPS. However, it displays way too much information and not always the right information. For example, when I'm driving around Munich, I don't need a map of the whole area to know where I am. But I need to know what my speed is, what is the speed limit, possible traffic incidents in the local area. So I want to make a simple driving assistant to replace my GPS. Like that. So we made something that displays driving speed and speed limit, capable of recording some driving statistics, capable of taking a voice command. So in the event you see something weird going on, you can make something happen, and you can store some data in a database.
Functionality necessary to display relevant driving information while driving, like speed limit, address, instance from a database, and
also be able to log in via some social media accounts to keep track of stats and etc., which are stored in a database. The tools used is Firebase to keep everything stored, use the GPS location, camera as mentioned to take pictures, so you can like later on driving compilation or something. Use big maps for all the relevant map data because we wanted to use Google, but Google pays and charges money. And well, big maps generally is pretty bad. Their API is actually pretty good, so and voice recognition. Of course, you can steer the camera with voice to not take the focus away from the road in some way. Of course, already using a map while you're driving is not recommended, so don't do that. Here's the UI design. We went for something which is user-friendly and easy to use and simplistic. At least we think it looks nice. It's tricky. Please leave to my so about giving some demo, but right.
You see something on your screen, or is it also?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, that's the code. So this is the app in code use, as you can see what we know. That's apparently where the emulator is located. It fetches your location. And the driving speed is 0 because I'm not driving at the moment. Speed limit is 40 kilometers per hour in north. You press this button, you can get a list of current traffic incidents in an area. This is a pretty large area. It's 250 by 250 kilometers. So one problem when using it in Norway, you basically get everything in Norway. It's a big area. It works though. Don't forget that. It works.
Can you change the scope there, like the range of the incident reporting?
No, the problem is we're using an API to get the incidents, and by default the API uses 50 by 50.
Right.
We did not find a way to change.
Right. Okay.
So blaming for nothing. It's not really optimized for Norway, which is a bad thing, but also use driving statistics. And you can sign in to your Google account. I'll be signing to demonstrate. This is where if you're driving, you can store statistics of how long you drove, how the average speed, time used, and other things. As you can see, it has a little data. To get some pretty graphs for the or the start button is to start a new trip. So if you want to record a trip while you're driving, you press this, and when you're done, you press stop. It tells you your trip was safe, and hopefully it is also safe here. Or not. Oh, yeah, there it is. Second is made 2019. Which I just made. I drove 1,800 kilometers. With the fancy glasses. Well, to demonstrate what happens if you change your location. For example, here, that's some coordinates. Should change to E6 Norway. And the speed limit is changed to 100, which is the speed limit of E6 highway, I believe. And
Pushing
it also
Yeah.
speed. For some reason, Android students logs are not really familiar with logs, but I guess it's correct. Someone knows the conversion of logs to kilometers. So, then let's say it works. I would like to show the camera, but I don't think we can show the camera everywhere too. It's too loud. Don't think we should the switch commands. So that's unfortunate. But works just as.
Cool.
Anything else you want to hear about? Or
reasonable to have the speed limit, which is 30 to 20 kilometers per hour, have that change to whatever is the local way of measuring speed. So that if you are in a UK or US location, that you get miles per hour instead of kilometers per hour. Because if you're, unless you're really good at quickly calculating this in your head, driving a European mainland car in the UK, showing you the kilometers per hour isn't really helpful.
So, first of all, I think we should embrace these parametric systems, which is kilometers per hour. And it's possible because the API also gives miles per hour, but for our project, we choose to use the kilometers per hour because it's something we're not familiar with. But it's entirely possible, and yeah, it's a good idea to have a user be able to change the movement.
I think what Björn says is to auto change it, right? So as soon as you take the ferry to UK, suddenly it displays the speed limit in mind, right? So
well, there's the problem though if you're a European, which is not familiar with miles, and you're in the UK. Well, I guess you want to use miles.
If I'm going to drive in the UK, I would prefer to have something displaying the speed in miles per hour because they are.
Well, it depends what you have on your dashboard.
Exactly.
Yeah. If your car shows you kilometer per hour, having the miles per hour kind of is not that helpful.
Well, it can actually be helpful. You actually see how you
because then I can actually know what I'm driving in miles per hour if I'm in.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. So you either convert.
The conversion is automated.
That's right,
basically.
yeah.
So you probably display both basically in this case, right? Depending on your cultural bias, you display respective both or only one. In Norway, you wouldn't bother with miles. Well, who bothers, like you say? And yeah.
Yeah, but it's possible. It's also a
Cool.
good point.
Cool. Any other points? So I really like this app, and I think it's a very Norwegian problem because you literally want to be notified when you hit the speed limit because it's very expensive here, right? In other countries, you have this tolerance detector plus 20%, or something like that, right? Would be nice to factor that in as well if you're a bit more lenient and you want to really avoid really high fines only. No, I'm just kidding. So I think that kind of app is actually quite helpful. Does it actually work? Of course, you're demoing it right now. Did you try it in the car?
Yeah, I actually tested it in the car. And, it worked when I did it.
Yeah.
So that's not to gain your trust, but it works.
Sure, it does. No, that's good. And that's a good one. In terms of, you said you need to activate the journey yourself. Did you think about having some auto detection because there are some means to identify first of all how you're moving and what you're probably using as opposed to walking, bike, or car based on the acceleration patterns and the speeds that you have on average and stuff. Is there any way, because that would be really cool, getting in the car, having the phone in the car and basically just notifying you when they hit the speed limit or only in those circumstances, and you don't need to do anything like having it feel really adaptive, to what you do and what the thing is, because that's probably the most common thing that you want to know what the current speed limit is, because it's often very contextual depending on housing, residential area, or and so on, and it can change quite quickly, especially if you're driving in unknown areas, right? So even though you know the road, you may not know the speed limit. So that would be quite cool to automate that a bit more. I would imagine, because then I would really leave it on my phone and just have it activate when I'm driving and being dormant when I'm doing anything else. Right?
We thought about the automatic activation of actually starting the trip, but then you get the problem of what if you have to stop at the red light and the app detects the stop and thinks the trip is over and stops the trip?
Yeah.
Or you can have it based on speed, but if you're in traffic and your speed slows down,
What's the threshold for stopping a train?
Of course. Well, but that's the practical thing. Again, physical computing, if you're real world, you need to experiment. Right? On the one hand, you can use, for example, maps to approximate where you are. Well, if you're in a traffic light, it's very unlikely that you stop your journey there, right? Unless your car breaks down. Bad luck. But if you stand in a parking lot and do that for a longer period of time, or in general, if you stand for a very long period of time, traffic jam included, then you can probabilistically stop the exercise. But the problem is, the point is anyway, if you're stopping your journey, you will never hit the speed limit, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So it doesn't matter if you're slightly delayed in actually stopping the trip. As long as you started at the right time, stopping doesn't matter too much, as far as I'm concerned. But you're right. That's a matter of experimentation, I would believe.
I'm sure there's some sort of artificial intelligence we can just program together.
Exactly, right? So you would some learning facility in there. Would be nice. I think there's great potential in this app. Actually, I like it. I think there could be a standard app even rolled out by Wegwesen or something like that, or by NAF for ensuring greater road safety, irrespective of GPS and all that magic.
If they're watching, they can try your idea.
Right. Okay, so we tag the screen, traffic safety.
Yeah, there's one idea also. There was a project, a mobile project in a different settings, where the students were taking data from the OBD2 Bluetooth device, which you can install in the car. So then your app can have the data directly from the OBD2 protocol. And what they were doing, in addition to some of the things that you have, they were checking what speed they were driving at which gear, and what was the fuel efficiency. So then the app was telling the driver that at that speed you should use this gear because that kind of maximizes your fuel efficiency. So that was additional feature that you could do with sensors and kind of give the driver, which none of the normal navigational apps can do. So that's just an idea. Yeah.
And you need to factor in heat of the car as well and the type of fuel they're using, right?
Well, they didn't, but they did use the terrain to see if you were driving up the hill or down the hill.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, for example, you can go downhill very slow, but on a very high gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's where automatic sucks, right? Because it doesn't anticipate the environment. That's
exactly.
Right. Good point.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well,
great.
One more question.
Okay. What was the camera used for again?
The camera is...
if you see a dangerous situation on the road, you can just give a voice command to take a picture.
Okay. Have you thought about using the camera like all those dash cams that many people are buying? So you can record your trip, like auto-activate recording when you press start and stuff like that?
It would be possible, but we're using the camera through API directly, so it's very difficult to work with. That's a limitation.
Okay, so it's possible thing maybe have road compilation or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Always English drivers.
No way, road compilation, that's right. That's cool.
Auto uploads to YouTube.
That was cool. Using your account, of course, yes. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, next group before the break. Group number 1. There you go. So for next year, proposal, I need a app that does my text declaration code. Automates the input of text.
I know, man. I've been dreaming of that for years. Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. No. You need to do it in a screen scraping way because it should again work on
repopulate based on what you do.
based on the item numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you generate the pattern of only item, very simplistic. So purely screen scraping, because the logic is a miracle no one understands anyway. But you need to know navigation and detect item numbers.
They did change things.
But if you, as long as you know, there's always a checking component there. But then you could still do it probabilistically. You got probabilistically your stuff right. So over multiple years you can optimize.
And then you can hook it up to your banking app.
That's right.
Yes, you can start.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth and Carl, and we're going to present our app campus planner. So as a student, it's kind of important for us to see the healthy work-life balance, and we want to know what's going on around us. But we have some problem with it, and that's that we have too many sources right now. So if I'm an intermediate and I want to find out what's happening, I have Facebook, Insta, some person posting on Discord, programming Discord, which has events and announcements, and I found events being posted in both of them. So it's like, where should I really go? And we also have the problem that a lot of people are not really using Facebook, and we had this problem when we were done, or Carl was saying this programming way that a lot of people weren't actually using Facebook, and it was hard to get people to go. And we also have one last issue, which is that Geodis is kind of defined as the less social concept compared to Trondheim, and we want to make Geodis great again. So let's have a look at that.
Okay, so let's start opening by opening the application, and you will be presented with a splash screen because you're not currently signed in.
So we'll start with signing in. So we're going to type in our email, right? Some email. So all this is done by using Firebase. I think it's just first in Firebase. And what is outside is that if this email already exists, it does not actually do it. It will just say, welcome back to this email, and then you just have to type in your password rather than having to type it in.
So yeah, once I create my account, the internet in this room is terrible, but we will do that. So to sign up to the school, you get to choose sort of what course you're in. I'm going to choose sport. And then you are presented with your profile. So you currently don't have any upcoming events, and I don't have a profile picture, which is kind of boring. So let's make a photo, so I can choose to take a photo or choose from the gallery.
With the same time, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, the connection is there. So I'm going to allow to take photos, and then I'll take a photo. Take a very normal photo. So I don't press the upload speed here, but eventually there's some network connection going on. So I go back to my profile. Upload it. As you can see, it's 1 out of 4. Well, there we are. So there's my profile picture. Well, it is. There it is. So now it's there, and if I go back to my profile, it's also there. I can also change my class in case it's the wrong one. So if I'm going to step back a year because I'm failing my courses, I can update my information. And then, so then the class is updated over in the top of the screen. You also have settings if you want to set notifications, and there's an about and version number. And you also have access to the settings screen up in the top here. So let's look at the event list. This is an event application. So when I go to the events, I can see that there's some stuff going on at this school already. There's a few interesting things there. So let's just open one of them and see. So apparently Christopher is hosting a secret grading meeting.
That's right.
The night before, they will roll dice to determine the final grade.
How do you know that?
Yeah, it was a secret.
Let's have a look at who's attending.
Yeah, so apparently the...
who else?
Yeah, who else did you expect? So obviously I'm not going to join this event. So let's see what this is all about. Oh, okay. So that sounds interesting. Going. Oh, I can see that you're already going to this. So let me just switch the join button down here. And then I'm also going.
Nice.
Oh, what is this? I got an achievement for joining the event. So.
So we have a list of achievements here. We just have for this thing. And they update as you go. So if you create an event, you can see how that.
I will create an event. So now I just joined this one, and then on my profile it says that the next event I'm going to is on May 10th, and it's a dark offering in the hallway under the IMT building. Did anyone know that this was happening? No, so this is why you need the app. Otherwise you don't know what's going on in the school. So let's create an event. What should we call it? Any suggestions? Something. Yeah, well that's kind of boring, so I'm going to call it Dream. So I'm gonna be able to choose a photo or take a photo. I don't have the water bottle here, but let's just use boring, but fine. The location will be 8254, and if you choose the date, let's make water 17th of May. That's 3. And then we can say just water. So when we create the event, the photo is uploaded. First, there's no progress dialog. We will add a progress dialog, but now we have to wait, and there we go. We got the achievement for creating the event, and here's the so now publishing this. So if I join my own event, I can look at this list. So it's kind of boring to have an event by myself. So if you want to join the event as well, you're going to be able to see that. So now since I'm doing the event, and you will see that she comes up with it. So it was making it live, of course. Now, having an event with only 2 people is kind of boring. So if I'm tired of my event, I can try to delete it. But let's give it a few more moments before we do that. And in this list, we cannot delete them, so it sort of blocks you from doing that. But in case that you're still able to do something with this. So currently there's a hiking trip with a few people going. And yeah, I got another achievement. So those are my personal achievements.
You can also see the global achievements for all students. So it's very easy to do an event, but not a lot of people attend 20 events.
Nobody is doing 10 events, and 100% people have doing 100. So that's achievements.
We added an onset rules because we want to encourage people to create more events and be more social activities.
Yes. So in the end, let's just release our event because drinking water is kind of boring. Goes away, and it also goes away here. So that's oh yeah, so on the side there, if you go over here, you can see the login and then that's really small, but yeah, in a landscape mode, if you don't get the bottom navigation bar, you just have a side door. And I think, yes, it's easy thing. You can log out or you can delete your account. I think at this point I will just delete my account. So then you are forced to re-authenticate. You have to type your password before deleting the account. That's about it. So if I log out, we're back here, and that's the app.
So if you want to highlight our features, so this entire app is written in Kotlin, and we also use some Android just like the architecture components, Android artifacts, and libraries. So this because I'm guessing most of you will not be familiar with Kotlin and some similar to differences between Kotlin and Java. So yeah.
So just basic variable creation, creating an integer or creating a string. The functions are very fun in something because they are very fun, so it's always fun to make it. It's doing great, but you know. And then classes are pretty much the same, and then for the has some nice features, and creating buttons is very quick because you can go bundle up some branch and some value instead of being all packed up, and you never use keys or other stuff in like Java. So also this is us after we discovered that this is the language that exists. To be fair, before I started using it, I despised programming for Android, but after changing, I now like it. So I recommend everybody that you give it a try and have a look at it, because in the end, once you get used to it, it's so much nicer and feels outside. So let's quickly talk about some of the architecture behind the application. We used a model piece mentioned here. We used navigation, which was shown in the next slide. Live data, we have view models, we are fragments, and we had a piece of work manager for some images of the verbal work that we were going to use later. So we want to just talk about this in particular.
So the navigation page is really nice way to organize like what fragments for activities to join to. For example, there you can see that we want some music profile, you can just use references or access references, or from the event page you can go to create events or to the IMT page. And this is really easy because you don't have to be aware of any programming. You don't really have to think about what kind of things to do and like what arguments you have to pass, because this does it all for you and you can visually how it's going to look like. And also with this code, it's actually much more simpler if we're having on the next slide. Maybe I can just drag like this fragment is going to be at the bottom code is how you discover that, and this is how you do it for some reason.
Very good. Yeah, the first one is Java to make it interesting and more. Yeah, so usually when you're going to change a fragment from another one, you just create a fragment directly. Well, that's only an argument, otherwise you only need this line. And then this one takes an argument, so you just pass the event type you're going to navigate to, and then you just call navigate, and it takes care of all of the fragment transactions and the backslash, so you can the animations and all of this stuff is managed. And deep links as well. Yeah, there's something over here. I got a notification that the dark will break back soon. That's obviously not true, but I got this notification that I can join 3 other people in the hallway. So if I click this, it opens the app into the correct event, but obviously I'm not logged in, so but if I was logged in, it would go straight to the event. So I got this notification while we were talking. But yeah, that's you save a lot of effort working with navigation.
So another cool component that we use by data, and this is how the steps are asked. We have a few or fragments that we use for data that observe model, which is a machine learning hotspot, and we get data from our data source is Firebase, and then we send that to the repository, and this is served. So what this does is that it constantly dispatches everything for you. You don't have to think about how you're going to restructure things because it's all there for you. And this is something that I really recommend you guys to use. Another app as well, that is handling data and optimization is very simple. And I think we saw it when we were attending the event program.
Yes, we are going to go more into that. So, yeah, as I mentioned that ladder is hooked up with view models, because usually when you have your phone and you rotate it, everything goes to hell, as you observed before. The view model, however, is not tied to the fragment lifecycle. It has its own lifecycle, but it's sort of tied to it. So whenever you rotate the screen, and for example, you have connectivity or a fragment is recreated, the view model stays alive. So all the data you have in your fragment stays alive, which means you retain all the state of the application, even through configuration changes, like for example, screen rotation. So that's a great way to do it. And the live data, you don't have to probe it, as was also mentioned, for updates. It will tell you, so you kind of just like observer pattern. And live data is also aware of the fragment lifecycle. So whenever your fragment is for activity is hit by another one, it stops updating, so you don't wait for processing power. And once you get back, then if anything happens, then it will post a value to the live data. And your observing UI only has to care about UI code, which is very helpful. Finally, we're just going to briefly mention the work management, which is are using to delete users, because if you're deleting your user while you're offline in your app, it's not necessarily going to work. So here you can just say different constraints for when the work is going to happen. So we need to be connected to the network, and we don't want to have low battery. And then you can set the input data and it's created the user ID of the user to delete, and then you just review the work. And this work is guaranteed to execute even through phone reboot. And also, so basically used for deferrable work that doesn't have to happen immediately, but that you need to be guaranteed that happens. So if you delete your account, this will take care of doing it even if you're offline. And finally, we're just going to briefly talk about our experience with Firebase.
Yes, I guess our main challenge for developing these apps is coming from the SQL mindset and doing the no SQL, so just learning stuff and stuff. Yeah, we use that to learn something that we got better at and change our mindset about data structure.
So now I went offline, and even though I'm offline, I can still watch on the data and everything is cached out to the system.
I agree.
Wow.
Would you use it?
So this is so much a question comments. You mentioned you wanted to solve the problem of having too many sources of information, and it really reminds me of like that KCD grid.
Yeah.
You have like X amount of standards, so they have to make a new unified standard, or now you have an X plus one.
Of course, so this one is just for the campus. So if you're creating an event that's outside of campus, you don't.
As an event planner on campus,
Yes.
Why should I use your app when the other communication channels that I use gives me more than enough people for my events already?
Well, if you're okay with that, then that's fine. But maybe people don't have Facebook, but they don't want to know Discord. Maybe they won't. We don't steal your data.
Actually,
I don't think that ours doing my data.
Yes.
I'm assuming that you can only see the next for whatever you are currently like.
Well, that's a restriction we would like that. So you can say, like, it's not currently in, but you can say that this is an event only for these classes. Or if you're login, you can say this is an event for login, and only the classes that are the neighbor of login you can. Currently, yes.
Oh, okay.
So you can see the class as the host, for example. So if you look at this one, you can see the host of what class they're currently. And you can see that everybody's going, you can see what class they're part of. So which makes easily like you'll know if you know some somebody there or whatever.
What I was wondering was like if a person is working at an event,
yeah,
they would change what group they're part of,
yeah,
they would then like vanish from you or something else.
Well, we haven't added the restrictions yet, so that's not but that probably you would be left, you would leave the event.
Have you thought about ways of integrating it with those notification channels and
with Firebase?
No, with say Facebook, Discord, having ways of integrating this app with those bits of communication.
That's also on the list of things we would want to add if we have more time.
We would also like to have Maze map here to show the location, so when you're on campus you can like find out exactly what room you're in. But currently it's just a location just that text you, but we would like to have everything like integrated.
So wow, I must say the app is incredibly polished. That is more like a final product presentation to the whoever wants to buy it. Good luck. One comment I have, it boils down to recurrence. So you gave it away by making an event called Drink Water. So assuming I want to do that more than once in my lifetime, right? So is it possible to set up recurrent events? Right, so that could also be one thing. Because again, you could imagine that the whole exercise could be much more lively, right? We say we have monthly or pizza meeting and something like that, and so on. But question to you: will you use this app now? I mean, you had a use case that drove the idea. So
yeah, we're definitely going to use it. But we get our friends as well if we get somebody else to use it.
For our friends to download it.
I mean, that's the thing. If it's low, and the threshold for using seems to be very, very low, right? So if I get it right, so it's very minimal requirement.
You normally have to verify your email to get a verification email to create an event.
Okay.
Otherwise, yeah.
That's right.
But we didn't show that.
But we didn't save it for the presentation because we didn't want to send primary files.
So much about Polish, yeah. Cool. Well, any other questions?
Perfect. Can you do what?
Edit.
You cannot currently edit yet. But you can delete it and create it.
That is a question because you may create an event, people sign up for it, and then you change it.
Yeah.
So that is.
That should be in there, but
yeah.
I prefer to polish what was there instead of adding more stuff that there might not.
No, what I meant is that like for example, some messaging services don't allow you to edit the message which is already liked a few times because that changes the nature of what was liked.
Yeah.
It's the same with the event. So you know, you may not want to be able to edit an event after let's say 5 people already signed up.
Yeah.
Or have reconfirmed, like
yeah, exactly. Kind of state propagation.
So you're responsible to get notification when an event updates.
That's right. Yeah.
Have you thought about like adding ways of displaying information? Say the City Cafe. What are they serving today, or what kind of sales do they have on the city bookstore? Have you thought about adding stuff like that as well?
I haven't thought about that, but that's a cool suggestion. So we can contribute to it.
Making more of like a campus sort of thing, yeah.
Campus app.
Yeah. We would of course have like organization account for people who are not in a class but like login or the other ones.
But yeah, the main purpose is to like put all the events on campus, so you don't have to go on Facebook just for everyone booking. If you're like, hey, I'm bored, I want to do something, what's happening right now? You just get everything that's happening and centrally there in one place.
Very nice. Anyone? Yeah, John?
In the use case of trying to get in externals in our events, why this is for all the events end up here only, how easy it would then be, to tell someone from Trondheim who's coming for 2 events over a weekend without, forcing them to download an app for that specific thing. Because as now those people apps for everything, to make sure that they don't go to their phone with more apps.
Possibly something that you add to share, instead of building on the share and then through Facebook and other places that you get to see the event, but you don't get to like try to find and see more personal information about the artist. I mean, because like get to do in the Facebook.
Of course, we have a web app that shows you like private will be dealt with as well, so you can possibly integrate the data in the corner.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Cool.
So,
do you people need breaks? Is that a no?
Have a break.
Oh, that's a yes? Okay, let's take a break. Take a break until 11. Until 11, please.